choice. That's what life in the Army gives you. You'd be surprised by the amount of job opportunities that exist and career paths you can take in the Army. From aviation to administration, combat and security, and all the types of trade jobs you can imagine. The Army is always on the lookout for the next generation of leaders. People who strive not only for the best in themselves, but to bring out the best in others. They're highly trained, highly skilled, and thrive on overcoming the sort of challenges most wouldn't dream of. There are two different streams to becoming an officer in the Army: General Service Officers and Specialist Service Officers.
I wanted to become a leader because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see if I could last the distance, and I wanted to be the best I could be.
General Service Officers complete 18 months of officer training at the Royal Military College, Duntroon.
And it was just such a proud feeling knowing that I've been through one of the most difficult military courses and I've graduated.
On completion, cadets are given the option of putting in a preference for a corps to specialise in. Let's explore a few in depth. Armoured Corps officers have a deep knowledge of tactics, are quick thinkers and can analyse complex situations. They lead soldiers who are operating in some of the most high-tech armoured vehicles in the world, such as the Australian Light Armoured Vehicle and the M1A1 Abrams main battle tank. The artillery officer is a key component in the battlefield. Surveillance, fire support, targeting, it's all part and parcel of this exciting role.
I went straight to RMC. I do have some tertiary qualifications, however, it was an opportunity for me, a challenge, and I didn't need to use those skills. I was a direct entry officer.
Aviation Corps officers are employed as pilots in charge of transporting soldiers via the Army's fleet of helicopters, as well as search and rescue, medical evacuations and disaster relief. They can also be employed in non-flying management and coordination roles. The Engineer Corps officers manage soldiers to fulfil a range of tasks, from building roads and airfields and setting up essential services such as water, electricity and sewerage in the field. Infantry officers lead soldiers in some of the most challenging environments in the world. This is the front line, seeking out enemies, engaging them and overcoming them no matter what the conditions. Medical Corps officers are responsible for coordinating and managing all the medical staff and resources both in the field, on operations and in barracks. They'll make sure the Army's nurses, doctors, dentists and medical support soldiers have the resources they need to do their job. Ensuring that soldiers and commanders have access to information is the task of the Signals Corps officer. They oversee and manage the use of state-of-the-art technology to allow for the establishment of communication networks, the listening to and interpretation of enemy transmissions, and ensuring the lines of communication are kept open wherever the Army needs it. Transport Corps officers manage soldiers to facilitate the transport of petrol, oils, food, equipment and ammunition by land, sea and air as required. The second stream for officer entry is Specialist Service Officers. Specialist Service Officers are employed in a specialist capacity relevant to their training, such as doctors, lawyers, dentists, nurses, engineers or public relations. Specialist Service Officers usually enter the Army already holding a degree and or relevant experience in a certain field, and therefore undergo a condensed version of officer training.
Someone who's not scared to make a decision, number one, is decisive in their decision making. That's paramount, I think, as any Army officer or ADF officer, and being able to take responsibility.
So, choose to challenge yourself.